you my story for the year. This is getting late in the year. Logan, he's already had quite a bit of luck. I had too. I mean, I'd been in on a lot of hunts. I just hadn't been behind the gun.
And that's what we do. We just rotate. Somebody kills, we'll rotate to the next guy, and that's just kind of how we do it. We ain't in for it to let one man tag out. We just kind of rotate and let each other kill and get videos of everybody. So
this particular weekend, weather was a little bit rough on us. It's pretty wet. So Saturday, me and E had planned on going to the river farm, hunting in big bottoms, just banking on them coming to the field. But the only thing about the river farm, it's a huge hay field. It'd been really, really warm all spring. I hadn't cut the hay the past summer, so it was pretty high. I mean, it was almost waist high. So, I mean, me and E knew that morning, more than likely it was going to be a bust. They just ain't going to spread it when it gets up high. Well, sure enough, went there that morning, didn't hear a bird, didn't see a bird. Just maybe seen a hen a long way off, something like that.
Really, the only thing we had was the little sections that they mow right there at the fence. And that's a good spot. It is, because they roost in them woods and they could come there. But out in the actual hayfield was, honestly, it was kind of ridiculous to be turkey hunting.
It was rough, yeah.
But we didn't know. We kind of took a chance on it. We hadn't been in there in a couple of weeks. Didn't know how tall it was. And we kind of knew our chances were slim when we got there. But, you know.
The river's one of the places you can't hardly count it out. You just sort of got to go and play the hand you dealt. So we went there that morning after about, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Me and E packed up shop and went up to E's dad's house and pulled up. And he was sitting on top of the hill, and we pulled up and he said, "Hey, I found you one right there." And I said, "Where?" And he said, "Hit a crow call." And we hit a crow call, and literally 150 yards from the road, there's a big longbeard lit up. Well, of course, I got fired up.
At this point, it was getting pretty late in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's... Yeah. And he had the high ground on us. And
he had a couple hens, too.
Yeah. I got fired up. I kept saying, "E, let's go get him, let's go get him." And no matter what these guys will tell you, after 2 or 3 other people killed and you're low man on the totem pole, you start wanting to make something happen. I mean, you start reaching a little bit. Don't matter what they say. I mean, yeah, you have as much confidence as you want, but it's also rough seeing other people kill them and you sitting there with nothing. So I was wanting to go. He kept saying, "No, we'll take care of him tomorrow." And well,
because that was Saturday.
That was on Saturday.
And we had Sunday.
And then Sunday morning came. Well, we was actually leaving your dad's, and he could tell I was downhearted. We was walking off the porch, and he said, "Hey, Ev," and I said, "Yeah," and he said, "You'll kill him tomorrow." I said, "Thank you, bud. I appreciate it."
Make it worse, that night, big rain set in.
Poured rain all night.
And it was supposed to linger on into the morning. But the only thing that got us to go, we watched the weather really close that night, probably all the way up till midnight, because we were so fired up. We knew this turkey had been there. And we seen that there was supposed to be a break in it, right?
We had like maybe an hour and a half,
maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. But there was supposed to be a break in it, and there was
You had a good idea where he's probably going to roost.
Yes,
right there on the skull.
Yeah.
You knew he was going to be right on top. Right
we knew a pretty good idea of where to go, where to set up, and everything. So we took a chance on it.
We went back the next morning, went to the top of the hill, almost to where he was at.
It poured rain.
It poured.
The way.
Poured. Me and him was soaked walking in.
And we was thinking the whole time, are we going to get that break?
Yes. We kept looking at the weather, waiting on it to get daylight.
That radar, though, showed that there was a gap.
There was a gap, and sure enough, as soon as that gap came through, because by the time it started, birds started chirping a little bit, and I pulled out my old hoot owl call, and most of the time it'll pull a gobble out of one when nothing will.
because I know he's going to come up. Just be ready, okay, at all times, because he's going to fly down. Come right out the point, I'd say. Trail here. Morning, guys. Me and he set up on Skull this morning. Caught a bird gobbler about 100 from us. This spot's famous for the Canutis Reef. So, he's been seen across this hill from us every day for about the past week, so we're hoping he'll read the script, come out through here, and I'll cut him off about 20 yards up the hill. So, y'all stick with it, it's gonna be fun. Watch your top. Easy. See me? Yeah, I see. Yeah, I got him. Shoot him.
Literally, I mean, it could have not been the worst weather conditions. Spitting rain, wind blowing 30 miles an hour. I mean, it was like a hurricane that morning. It was awful.
I mean, they was limbs.
They was limbs falling out of trees all around us.
It was just.
And this bird gobbled
as good as any.
As good as any all year. I mean, I bet he gobbled 50 times within 20 minutes. I mean, just
in that wind, just a whipping, he would rip at every few seconds.
And I don't even think me and he hit a call because we set our decoys up on top of the hill. On the ridge, which is this is the same ridge that you shot your own and your dad shot his and it got away from him.
What we would do, that wind would, it would come in gusts, and there was a lot of them, but as it would calm down, even if it was just for 5 seconds, we'd soft call a little bit and he would answer us every time. We did just enough to let him know that we were there.
Yes,
that's just, that was good enough for me. If we could make enough noise to let him know something was up there, we might have a chance.
We had a play on him. So he kept gobbling the tree, and like I said, gobbled great. Well, it went quiet for maybe 5 minutes, and all of a sudden, boom, he hit it right out the ridge from us. And E, you can see it on the GoPro video, E says, you might want to get your gun up and flip it off safety. Well, I get it up and flip it off safety, and it felt like, 10 seconds, I'm sure. It took a couple minutes. I told E, I said, here he comes. I see him. And you can just see that head coming out that ridge. I said, E, you see him? He says, no, but I ain't got him yet. And I said, okay. And by this time, I'm already up on him waiting. And E's probably the best cameraman out of the crew. And I heard E say, all right, I got him. I thought, okay, next chance we got, here we go.
And that morning, we just had to take one of our lower end cameras because of the rain. We've got some cameras that are obviously cheaper, lower quality, but we wasn't going to take our big rig out in the rain and chance something getting wet and messing it up. So, we just did what we could.
We just played the hand we dealt, as we always do.
It wasn't going to keep us from going.
No, absolutely not. So he said, I got him. He said, take him when you can. But when he says this, he was a little bit in behind some stuff on me, but of course, sitting by side, you don't know the other man's angle.
Right.
Well, when E said that, E had him perfect. Well, he took about 2 steps, and he came out in the wide open for me. And
got behind the tree for me.
He paused for just a second, and I threw it up on him, and I thought, well, that's good enough for me. I'm going to let it fly. Well, I squeezed off, and like he said before, this is one of those spots, as soon as you shoot, you've got to go get him. Because he can get over the hill just in a matter of seconds. And I shot,
and honest to God, when you shot, I didn't know if you hit him or not because he was behind a tree for me, and I hadn't seen no wings coming up or nothing. I just seen you take off, and I honestly had this, this gut-wrenching feeling that you didn't get him. Honest to God, when I seen you take off the way you did, I was like, oh, did he hit that bird or not? And about the time that Ev got to the top of the ridge, I seen a wing come up.
And most birds you shoot, they'll flop some. I got up there on top of this bird. He never flopped. There wasn't even a wing hardly moved. He must have caught every bit of the shot in that number 5. So he got up there. Of course, I'm fired up. I'm on the board. I completed the slam. At that point, we had all killed.
And that's what we call it. If we all kill, that's the slam for us. I mean, we always try to at least get everybody one bird.
Off the ground, baby, on the stool. Got a bigger down early. 645. Smoke. Boom.
With them hooks.
That's a big one.
That's a nice one.
That's what I'm talking about.
Awesome. He's right behind that tree when you shot, but I didn't want him to get away.
Sorry.
That's a nice
He
one.
probably would have kept coming, but
He would have, but I just wanted you to shoot him.
I know. I love you, and I thank you for that. More than you know. I told Scuddy last night. I was messaging him. I said, don't call me off. I said, I just want to kill one.
Big and Ev.
Yeah, it's probably one of the bigger ones I've ever killed. Well, guys, this right here is what me and E call living the high life. We came in and flew to the top of the hill this morning. I blew alcohol, nothing. It's been a nasty storm bad last night, man. The wind howling. I mean, honestly, probably the worst conditions you could ever ask for if you're trying to kill one. But he hit a crow call, and sure enough, he ripped it right down here, right over the point. Me and he come sliding down the hill and got tucked in beside a big tree. He just kept ripping it down there, and East told me, he said, we're gonna get by for murder, this is gonna be perfect. We sitting down there, and he's gobbling maybe every minute. He's gobbling everything, cows moving, everything. All of a sudden, he started gobbling down here on the point, and we knew he was on the ground. He said, get ready, so I went ahead and got the peep up and flipped it off safety. And I bet it wasn't 15 seconds. I looked, and I said, I see, here he comes. He comes strolling out through there, and he said, I got him. When I shot, it just so happened he'd walk behind the tree on Eve. It's all right, we're gonna get plenty of pictures and drink plenty of cold beer and put him in the skillet, so that's all that matters to us. So, well, guys, me and Eve's gonna go chase one. By far the earliest I've ever killed one. Shot him at 6:45. Probably the biggest one I've ever shot. He's got some goods. So, me and Eve's gonna go chase another and hopefully keep living the high life and knock them down like this. So, of course, that's when the adrenaline really sets in. Me and he's celebrating on top of the ridge.
Killed him early too. It was like
I
6:45.
think I looked at my watch. I think I killed him at 6:40 that morning.
He hadn't been on the ground probably 2 minutes.
And he was over with.
Yeah, I actually hunted with them boys on Saturday, and I seen the weather was gonna be nasty, so I went to the lake Saturday night, spent the night there. Was gonna hang out there Saturday night and come back Sunday. And I was laying in the bed Sunday morning, and I heard my phone start ringing about 6:30, 6:45, and I done knew what had happened. I knew them old boys there done smacked one's head, and sure enough, Ev called and said, I've got one.
He was another dang good bird too. I mean, it was.
He's probably my best bird I've ever killed.
And no doubt,
his spurs are there. He's a big. His spurs at the base of his legs. He's very, very thick.
Yeah.
He ain't real short, but he's by far
an
my
older
biggest
bird though, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's definitely.
He's by far my biggest bird ever. We come walking out. Sure enough, we's on the ridge taking pictures, celebrating that break in the rain. We made it through a break. It started raining.
Yep.
So we had to tuck tail and haul freight, but we made it to the top of the hill, and I got some cell phone signal, and I had to call Eve's dad, and I said, as soon as he picked up the phone, he said, I told you, and I said, yeah, I know you told me, but like it. And he said, go clean him. And I said, all right. I said, I just wanted to tell you. And he said, I appreciate it. So.
And that's why you can't just count it out just because of the weather, because that bird probably gobbled as good as any we heard.
He would have gobbled, absolutely. He was going to do it whether we was there or not.
Yeah, and he was there, and he gobbled. He was the only bird.
He was the only bird we heard over a lot of miles.
But I mean, that's all it takes.
Yes.
If the one that you're hunting gobbles, it presents a shot.
He was the only player we had in the game, but he was the only one we needed to be in the game too. So
it turned into a great hunt, and that was just a great way to cap off, the slam for us.
The slam at that point, the rest of the year we just sort of just enjoyed it. I mean, all the pressure's off. Everybody's killed. You don't have to worry about trying to get Logue or E a bird. I mean, everybody at this point has already taken their bird.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this at this point, everybody's just happy-go-lucky. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. It ain't over yet. Though.
It ain't, the next week, I guess I got a little bit too laid back. We planned, he and his dad had planned to go one farm. And me and Loke said, we'll go strike it up at another farm. I think we was going to my mama's or something like that. Well, sure enough, I slept in, but
So
that's all I'll say. The rest of it is
not purposely now.
No.
Ed slept in, so Logue was supposed to go with Ed. So he calls me, says, "What should I do?" I said, "You're going with us." And here we go. And
me and E always ride together coming through.
I called Logue. I said, "He ain't answering." I said, "I'm leaving him." I said, "He's staying in Yuma." I said, "Me and you and Dad will go." I said, "We're gonna make it happen." And sure enough, it turns out to be.
It happened. It happened.
It is the best hunt of the year, if not the best hunt we've ever had.
Probably the best hunt I've ever had.
And the toughest hunt.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, that's the way we're going to cap off our year to you. We're going to let that one come to you, and
that'll be next week's episode, and that by far is the best one.
yeah, hope y'all enjoy it because it's some good content coming your way.
Let's go get one, Scotty.